Everybody, welcome to this week's Kids Spot. I hope that you guys are doing really well. So this week I want to teach you guys how to make one of these, a paper bag luminary. But before we get to that, we're going to hear a little bit more about the adventurous story of Moses. So this comes from the Old Testament book of the Exodus, and this was the time before Jesus. And last week we heard about baby Moses being put in a basket on the river, being watched by his little sister Miriam, and what happened to baby Moses and how he came to grow up in the Pharaoh's palace. And this was the time when the people that Moses belonged to were being badly treated by the Pharaoh and being used as slaves to work for him, and how babies like Moses weren't safe during this time. But this week we hear about Moses when he's grown up to be a man. And so what happened was that Moses grew up in the house of Pharaoh, but then he and Pharaoh had a falling out, an argument, because of something that Moses did to try and protect one of his own people, the Hebrew people, which was maybe a mistake that Moses made. But Moses ran away and he went to live in a different country, not in Egypt anymore. He went to live in Midian, and he became a shepherd, and he was tending his flock of sheep. And then one day he ended up coming to a mountain, and he climbed the mountain, and as he did, he saw something very strange. He saw a bush, and the bush was on fire. So it was on fire, but Moses noticed it wasn't burning down, it wasn't burning to the ground. And so he was very curious, how could it be that it was on fire but it wasn't burning? So he went a bit closer, and then he heard God, and Moses met God in the burning bush, and God said to Moses, "Moses, Moses, come here." And they had a conversation, and God told Moses that he wanted Moses to be the person to free the people, the Hebrew people in Egypt. And what a big task. Moses thought, why me? Why have I been chosen to do this? And he said to God, who's going to believe me anyway, that it was you who sent me to do this? And God said, here's some signs that you can show the people that it is me who sent you, and this is my name, so they know that it is me who has sent you. So that was the big task that Moses was asked to do. What a difficult task. And you know, he had quite a good life in Midian being a shepherd, and he was being asked to do this dangerous task to go back to Egypt, where the Pharaoh wasn't happy with him, and to free his people, which would again make Pharaoh very angry. And in the gospel story this week we also hear about Jesus being asked to do something very dangerous, and to go to Jerusalem, and how Peter is trying to assure him and say, you know, you don't have to do this dangerous thing. But Jesus says, no, I do. Don't tempt me not to do it. And how, you know, maybe are there times in our lives where it's easier to do something comfortable, something that makes us feel safe, but really we should step outside of what makes us feel safe in our comfort zone to do what is right and what might change the world a little bit for the better. So maybe that's something you could think about as a family. But another question to also think about as a family might be about this meeting that Moses had with God in the burning bush. What a strange place to meet God. And there's some other strange places that people meet God in the Bible, such as Joseph meeting and talking with God in his dreams, and Elijah who heard God in a whisper. And the wise men and the shepherds meet Jesus, who they're expecting to be a king, and they meet him as a baby boy in a manger, don't they, at Christmas? So these are unusual ways that people have heard and met with God. Are there any unusual and unexpected ways that you have felt the presence of God in your life, or heard God speaking to you? Are there ways that your parents or your friends or your carers have heard God in their lives? a wonder. And to remind us that God is with us, even though we can't necessarily see God, I thought we could make these paper bag luminaries. So what you will need for this craft is one of these paper lunch bags, which you can get from Coles or somewhere like that for about $2. And what you can do is you can make a pattern in the paper bag, make little holes. I suggest making ones that are a little bit bigger than this, because while you can see that the light does go through these holes, it would probably work a little bit better if the holes were a bit bigger. So if you use a skewer or a toothpick, something like that, to make the holes, I just used a pen. And I don't think you can really see the pattern, but I tried to make a pattern of a cross, but you could make any pattern that you like, or you don't even have to decorate it. What you just do is you put a candle inside. So I'm using a LED candle, a safety candle, because I've got little kids, but if you're a bit of a bigger kid, you can use a real candle. You just need to make sure that you put sand in the bottom of this paper bag and that you light it with an electric lighter or something like that rather than a match, so that you're being safe, because obviously this being paper, it is very flammable. But hopefully this might remind you of the burning bush when it's lit up and it's burning but not on fire, and also the presence of God, and maybe it's an opportunity to listen for what God might be saying to you in your life. And that's it for this week, guys, and I hope you have a really good week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.